If you have only one source of income, let's say you are employed, that is the only money that you get at the end of the month. Or let's say maybe you get at the end of the day or at the end of the week. It is the only cash that you usually get. Let me tell you one thing. You are sitting on a very, very delicate balance because anything can happen. And by the way, before I even explain to you why you're actually on a danger is because take an example of what happened on 2020. What happens? 2020, when Corona came, actually taught us a very big lesson. Some of people were employed somewhere, they were closed. Can you imagine if you're working on a social-related industry? For example, let's say in beauty, salons and cosmetics and what have you, malls and what have you. People are regulated. Some of those entries were actually closed. And that, what does it mean? You actually lost all your source of income. I have an individual who actually did start his what we call the bar, restaurants and what have you. Just after putting the money down, the Corona came, everything was closed. And that place where he was putting that business was actually a leasing place. So what does that tell you? If you rely on one source of income, things can happen and everything is grounded. So that actually taught us a lesson. And today I'm going to shed some light on top of that so that at least you understand the dangers of having only one source of income. And this is what at the end of the day, I'm going to offer solution to you. I'm going to explain to you on how you can be able to actually increase sources of income so that at least you can be able to make something out of your life. And this is my point. Sit back, relax, and watch this video to the end. Point number one, you have to understand one thing. Nobody has ever made it in life and achieved what we call the financial freedom if they only have one source of income. Maybe unless you're a politician. And of course, I know you know what I mean by that. But the point is this. They say an average millionaire, they usually have at least 7 sources of income. Obviously, I'm not telling you by next year you create all 7 sources of income. What we do is that we pick one thing, what we are good at, you incorporate all your skills on that, and then once you take it to a notch higher, to a point whereby it's actually standing by itself, therefore you can think of starting another one and another one and another one. So what do you do, and what are the dangers of you having one source of income? First of all, you reduce what you call your financial purchasing power. It is reduced. Let's say even you want a good amount of money like 70,000 or 100,000. And you would like to buy a piece of land. And then in the process, something crops up in your family, and God forbid. Therefore, it means that amount of money that you're getting, what we call the cash flow, has actually been constricted. So you cannot be able to purchase something in a big way. All right. So therefore, your financial purchasing power is actually reduced. And those are just examples of people who earn a lot of money. Let's take an example if you want like 20K or 30K or 50K or below 50,000, should I say. So you realize one thing. If you take that money, put it towards the rent, towards eating, towards dressing, say school fees if you have kids and all those kind of things. So what you're remaining with is a very little amount of money, maybe 10 or 15,000. Now, therefore, 10 or 15,000 and you're looking forward into having a car, probably not even a very expensive car. Let's say a car worth 1.5 million. Here you are, you have your 15,000. You're looking forward into having a car worth 1.5 million. You're looking forward into having a piece of land, let's say 1 million. You're looking forward into building your home, let's say 3 million. You're looking forward into, can you imagine that? It's just crazy. So what exactly does it tell you? You're applying the wrong formula. The moment you keep on, saving your 15K at the end of the month and looking forward in achieving all that milestone, you can never make it. And if you will, it will be after maybe 100 years or 200. And obviously, well, according to the current situation, I don't think anybody reaches that kind of a time. All right. So the point is this: unless you change your mathematics and unless you change your approach of life in terms of the finance, that's the only way you can realize your financial power. How exactly do you do that? Fine, there is no problem with you saving the 15K. You can take the 15K into your savings. And by the way, I did give a video on how you can actually be able to create wealth if you only invest 20% of your income. By the way, you can check that video. It's quite an amazing video. I've actually explained everything, but I can just borrow some of the information that I offered there to explain my point. Say you're saving your 15K at the end of the month. You save month 1, 2, 3. You have your 45,000. You can decide now, hey, I can pick the 45,000. Say you have a partner on board. Maybe they aren't employed. You can think, hey, what can we do on this or with this 45,000? Hey, we can start 1, 2, 3. We can start like a small makeshift hotel. We can start a grocery. We can start like a small cereal somewhere. We can start a home delivery something. We can start. You get the point. Now, once you start with that amount of money, another stream of income you've created another stream of income, meaning there is another small money that is actually coming from there. So 15K you've been saving initially, still still intact, and therefore you have another small income that is coming on board. So probably you're saving close to 20K. Now 20K took you 3 months to save 45,000. It will take you close to 2 months and something to get the same 45,000. Therefore you are shortening the time and the period of you actually achieving exactly that. Now after getting that amount of money, you focus on another thing. You pick a thing, you invest on that, and therefore by the time you realize, that's how you create wealth. And the point is this: you have to mix two things for you to realize what we call the financial freedom. You have to play as if you want to retain your money. You have to maintain it. You have to store it. At the same time, you want to grow it. Because we say rule number 1, don't lose your money. Rule number 2, don't lose your money. And rule number 3, don't lose your money. So you have to make sure that you behave in a way that you want to retain your money, store your money. But at the same time, you want to nest your money, to grow your money, so that at least you're growing your money and you're retaining your money. Because they say the success of a man is not measured by how high he climbs, but how high he bounces when he hits the bottom. So you therefore have to incorporate all those things on top of whatever you are doing. Now, what do I mean? So if you rely on one source of income continually, you're gonna save your 15K. Now tell me, how long will it take you to save 1.5 million? Say you are at 32 or 33, or maybe let's say you're 40, you're looking forward to having your own home, a car, and achieve the financial freedom. You won't do so, okay? Because you're already on what we call the rat race or the rabbit hole. So the only thing you can be able to escape the rat race is actually escaping it by investing in other areas. There you are. And I always give a very simple example. Let's say you are a teacher. You can actually disseminate those services on the social media, and you can be able to scale down that skill that you have, and you can make some money out of it. Or the savings that you're having, you can start an investment somewhere. You can focus on putting your money on circles. But again, even if you put your money on circles, won't make you crazily rich. The only thing it does, it actually grows, it compounds, but maybe let's say after 20 years, that time you realize quite a substantive amount of money. But we want to shorten that distance, because we are living in a country where some people are making 15K at the end of the month. Somebody is making that in a day. Somebody is making that in an hour. Somebody is making 100 Gs in a day. So you see, all those kind of different individuals, they are applying different formulas. Then you have to ask yourself, if you're sitting down there, you're looking forward into having a house worth 12 million, all right, and somebody is driving at 15 or 17 million car. Therefore, it tells you they're not lucky, by the way. Then I know you may say, hey, they're lucky. No, they're not. They applied a different formula than you're applying. And that's what we say: do not work for money. Always make sure that you do something where the money is working for you. A difference may not be seen when you're starting up, but as the time goes, and I always give this simple example. If you were to draw a graph like this, and you guys start to do something at the beginning, let's say we are 10 people, 2 decide to invest, and the 8 just laugh at them, all right? What happens is that the year 1, nothing shows the difference. The same people who invested and those people who are laughing, probably they're just the same. The year 2, now the difference starts to come in. They are now achieving what we call the financial freedom. As the time goes and achievement changes, and by the time you are clocking the 5th year, you realize you're totally on a different platforms. So the point is this: no matter how that small amount of money that you earn, you're gonna set aside a certain percentage that you're gonna channel it towards an investment, and that money, that's what gonna give you something in terms of investments. So that's the reality. It is not a complicated process, but I can assure you it is not an easy one. It requires discipline, sacrifice, and what we call consistency. By only that is the only way that you can achieve that, what we call the financial freedom. Number 2, when you realize when you're earning or when you have one source of income, you can just imagine this: actually achieving your goals becomes a bit complicated. And this is why you find, like, some of the people, when they get fired, you find them getting themselves into depression, stresses, and all those kind of things. Why? And by the way, we understand them getting into the stresses because it was the only source of income they were relying on. Therefore, if something happens to that, you do not have what we call the soft landing, and you have to create something called the soft landing. Have you ever seen an individual, and I'm pretty sure from where you are, you have ever heard of a story, or maybe you know of a story, whereby you find somebody was actually earning a very good amount of money. It was all about partying, it was all about making fun and all those kind of things. And by the time they realized, they were fired from the job, they have never invested nothing, and they have actually gotten themselves into a situation whereby they are used to drinking. Therefore, it means that they have to shake off the kind of the company they were, having fun with, because hey, welcome to the reality. The moment you realize, or the moment you get yourself into a hit in terms of the economies and you do not have money, you realize most of the guys whom you hang around, they were never sincere friends. They were just people whom you were sharing a common thing. And I think the earlier you understand this, the better it will become. So exactly what did I say? If you're having one source of income, you're actually sitting on a delicate balance. What I can advise you to do is this: No matter how much money you're getting out there, at least try to save 20% of it. And do not be emotional on these issues, because in most cases, I tell people, hey, you can be able to save at least 20% of your income. And people telling me, hey, Joseph, I don't know what should we do. If you're telling us not to pay more than 30% of our income towards our rent, does it mean we should live in a shanty place and all those? See, all those are emotions. All those are emotions. And you're supposed to be more logical than emotional when it comes to businesses or investments or savings or growth of your money. Because if you become more emotional than you are logical, then you're going to make wrong decisions. And that's why you find people tend to regret at the 15th day of every month. They get their salary, let's say at the 6th or 5th or 4th or whatever the time you get money. In 3 or 4, 5 days, they tend to regret. They're like, hey, I do not even know what I will do, because I don't even tell where my money is going. And what I've realized in this area, because I do receive a lot of calls actually, what I've realized is that a lot of people are facing financial difficulties. A lot of people are in debt. A lot of people are confused. They do not even know what they can do and how they can do it. Kindly, guys, before it becomes to that point, be very careful. Otherwise, if you keep on doing the same thing and expecting a different result, you sitting there for a shock. By the way, that's the end of my video. Make it as simple as that. If it's your first time watching me, I'm Joseph, talk about money, investment, and anything related to exactly that. And if that's a cup of your coffee, consider subscribing, like this video, and comment down below. Tell me what you think, because I'm a believer. You got something as well that I can learn from. So for now, it's a goodbye. See ya. And by the way, don't forget, you can grab my number from my description there, on the description of this video. You can give me a call. I offer personal services retaining or pertaining to businesses or financial consultations and what have you. For now, it's a goodbye and see you in the next one.